Hi, welcome to Johnston Health Talk, and thank you for joining us for another edition. We have a wonderful show for you today. We are talking with Deanna Mitchell and Melissa Blackman with Donate Life NC. Deanna is the Executive Director of Donate Life NC, and she lives in Cary, North Carolina with her family. She has more than 25 years of experience in nonprofit leadership and education outreach. Prior to joining Donate Life, Deanna was Assistant Director of Tryon Palace and Site Manager for the NC State Capitol. When not working to make the world a better place, she can be found running the greenways and trails of the Triangle. And we also have Melissa Blackman with us, and she's the Development Associate for Donate Life NC. And Melissa's position at Donate Life is to enhance their fundraising initiatives as well as spread the word about the importance of organ donation throughout the state of North Carolina. She lives right here in Clayton, North Carolina with her family and has some previous television experience in Fredericksburg, Virginia, Washington, and the Boston area. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
It's so exciting to bring you on the show today and to educate people about Donate Life NC and what this is all about. Deanna, tell us about the organization and how you got started and a little history on that.
Sure. So Donate Life North Carolina is about 10 years old. So we are a statewide nonprofit organization. We work in all 100 counties. And we really came together as an organization even maybe about 15 years ago with a group of concerned folks who worked in transplant medicine and organ procurement, and they really wanted to come together and make sure that the people of North Carolina understood what transplant medicine was about and what it meant to be a donor, and together they pooled their resources, and that was the beginning of our organization. So we've grown a lot since then.
And it's such an important topic because we really don't think about organ donation. I mean, it's not on our thought every day unless we're affected by that.
True.
And I know you've got a lot of people waiting for organs, and so it's important, I think, to talk about the process of organ donation. Tell us a little bit about how people can learn more about it.
Sure. So in North Carolina, we have about 2,800 people on the organ donation transplant waiting list. So those are folks who are waiting every day for a life-saving organ transplant. And most of the people on our waiting list, about 80%, are waiting for a kidney. And interestingly, you know, we are all blessed with an extra kidney. So living donation is something that can really make a difference in improving the lives of North Carolinians. For those folks who are so generous as to want to give of themselves and be a living donor, we are so appreciative of them as well. To register to be a donor, folks can go to their DMV. And say yes when they're asked the question and put that really nice red heart on their license. Right. Or they can go to our website at www.donatelifenc.org and they can register online, and then they can skip the line at the DMV, which is kind of nice. But or they can actually, if someone has the new iOS 10 on their Apple phone, they can go into the Health app and they can actually register to be a donor through their phone, which is really a very exciting thing, a very exciting collaboration between Donate Life America and Apple. So there are a number of ways that folks can register and be involved. We encourage anyone who has an interest in leaving a legacy of love and life behind to go ahead and put themselves on that registry. We have plenty of information on our website about what it means to be a donor. If you have the red heart on your license or if you're on the registry, that is first person consent to be an organ donor for organs and eyes. And additionally, you can go to our website and register to be a tissue donor as well. And that's something that a lot of folks don't think about. We tend to think about, when we think about donation, we think about a heart transplant or a liver transplant or a kidney transplant. But we have a lot of folks who are scarred through burning, you know, or who have are going through reconstructive surgery, for example, after breast reconstructive surgery following breast cancer. Some folks don't have the skin tissue needed to actually heal themselves. And so those folks who are tissue donors are miracle workers and heroes just as well, in providing other folks with a lifetime of opportunity and comfort.
And I'm glad that you mentioned live donations, because we don't think about that either. We think about when we pass, will we donate our organs, like you said, the heart, the liver, and we don't really think about as living, you know, we have two of certain things, or there's something that we could do without that we can help somebody else, and it's really just so important to think about that. And when Melissa and I were talking in the past, that you know, when you do pass, you don't need to take that with you, you know.
That's right.
You might as well give it to somebody who really is in need. We don't need it when we pass on. And it's really something that people should think about. And Melissa, I know you have your own story, not only being part of Donate Life NC, but give us your background as well, how you got involved with the organization.
Sure. Organ donation, I'm so passionate about it because my family was affected by it. I have a 5-year-old little girl named Sophie who had 2 liver transplants as an infant. She was born with a rare condition, and at about 4.5 months old, her liver failed. So she required a liver transplant at just 4.5 months old. Because she was so small, the first one clotted, so she received another one within the week. And today she is happy and healthy and thriving because of organ donation.
And just had a birthday.
And just had a birthday, yes, she just had a birthday. So she's just a miracle, and she would not be with us today without organ donation. So like I said, I'm extremely passionate about it, and I encourage everyone to sign up to be an organ donor because you can save so many lives like my own daughter's.
And you were working in the television industry and as a reporter, and so this kind of led you to a new career, per se, and,
Right.
and getting involved with...
I think when something like that happens, you can go one of 2 ways. You can go the why me, or you can go what can I do with this situation.
Right.
And personally, that's what I've done. This was the hand we were dealt, and I think it's so important to share our story personally, to tell people that I have a 5-year-old who's alive and who's healthy because of organ donation, and that her life was saved, and how important it is. And just one organ donor can save up to 8 lives. And so her donor probably saved many more than just my own daughter's life.
Right. And so in your role, you're spreading the word and educating people about the importance of organ donation, and this is just amazing that we can come on and tell people the story. It really is.
Yeah, and I love going out and sharing her story. I love speaking to groups about it. It's so rewarding to me if I'm just speaking to a small group of people about the importance of organ donation, and even if one person that day makes the decision, you know, it just makes our journey that much more purposeful, you know, that this happened, but this person could be saving lives because of hearing our story. And I've seen that so many times. Speaking to all different age groups, even people up into their 80s who had never made the decision and thought that perhaps they were too old to become organ donors. But you know, you're never too young and you're never too old to become an organ donor.
Right.
So it's so important to go out there and share these stories.
And Deanna, are you working with other large organizations to help create awareness, or
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are very fortunate to be part of a wonderful community in North Carolina that supports organ transplant medicine. So we work with we have 5 transplant hospitals in North Carolina, so we are very fortunate. We have 3 organ procurement organizations, and then we have numerous other nonprofit organizations that work alongside us. And so all of us really come together, even though we're sort of the educational focus. We don't have a clinical side to our work. We are purely education and outreach. But we are so fortunate to have all of these other wonderful medical facilities and folks in our state to collaborate with. We certainly couldn't do it on our own.
Yeah, and if we just think about North Carolina alone, you said 2,800 people that are on a waiting list right now. I just think about across the United States.
Right, there are about 110,000
Wow.
people across the United States on the transplant waiting list right now.
That is amazing. And hopefully there's several organizations throughout the United States that are doing the same thing that you guys are doing and bringing this awareness. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you, Melissa, had some other stories about organ donation, some people that you really recognized at a race that was sponsored by Johnston Health just a few weeks ago. For Donate Life NC.
It was an amazing event. We had so many organ recipients, donor families out there to see that many people just all together in one location. And leading up to the race, we had a couple that we featured on our website and on our blog to talk about. And I think the most exciting one brings back the living donation that you were speaking of earlier. She actually won our race. Her name is Shauna Dool, and she's a lieutenant in the Army Reserve. And she donated a kidney to a fellow soldier who was injured in Iraq. And Shauna was his sister's roommate at the time and heard about that, and so she donated a kidney to him. Shauna turned around and she ran the Boston Marathon within 6 months, and she ran our 5K and blew away the crowd. Yeah. She was just an amazing person, and you know, she talks about it like, you know, there was no decision to make. It was her job. She just wanted to help someone out. So it was just really exciting, the living donation part of that, and how selfless of an act that is. And it's just such a neat story. We hear there was another little boy that I've been in contact with his mother, and her son had the same exact diagnosis as my own daughter, and he needed a liver transplant, and his donor was also a living donor, a mother of 6 adopted children. And she just heard about his story on TV. They had gone to the news and talked about their story and how he needed a liver, and she just made the decision, you know, I'm a perfect match. Right. I'm going to be an organ donor to your child. And saved his life just because she thought, why not? I can do this to help save his life.
Right. And I know the race, you were in partnership with Donate Life NC before you were working with them.
Yes.
To create this race in honor of your daughter and the people that donated.
Yeah, last year it was my New Year's resolution to kind of pay it forward to our own donor. You can write a letter to your donor family, and we had never heard back. And so I thought, and I keep writing, and I thought, well, I'm just going to do something to show them how thankful we are, because when you've been through something like this, you can't ever thank a family enough. They're the reason my daughter's alive, because they made that decision right then and there to have their family member to become an organ donor. So we, last year as a volunteer, I created the race, the Donate Life Run, and we did it, and we had a great turnout of friends and family that came out to support us. And this year we tripled our numbers and the amount of people who came out. So it was just, it's so wonderful to see how many people are passionate about organ donation and who want to come out and help support us in our cause.
Right. And I know, Deanna, you had mentioned, or Melissa had mentioned, that age doesn't matter. You can be an organ donor no matter how old you are. Then talk a little bit about that.
Sure, that is correct. That's a really common misconception in organ donation. We hear it all the time. We get calls in our office saying, "Oh, I just turned 70, so you probably need to just take me off the registry." And we really encourage folks, if you still have the interest in leaving that wonderful legacy for someone else, leave your name on the registry, because you never know. We've had donors up into their 90s.
Wow.
So you know, it depends on, being a donor depends on so many factors. So we just encourage everyone to leave themselves on the registry. Never consider themselves to be too old. Certainly we are never too old to be able to make a difference in someone else's life. Another misconception that is really common is that religion prevents folks from being an organ donor. And interestingly, all major world religions have submitted statements in support of organ donation as an act of charity and an act of loving our neighbor. So folks who have information, they can find information including links to those statements online, but we encourage folks to talk to their officials in their places of worship and really consult with them. But we encourage folks not to assume that their religion will prevent them from being a donor.
Right. And another thing you think about is, and Melissa, we had talked about this offline before, when you do become an organ donor, and it's that time, the dignity to the family and to the person that has donated. And talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, from what we've been told, it's such an honorable thing that the doctors, the nurses, I think there's even a routine that they do when they perform these, when they take the organs from the patient. And even if you're a skin donor, they take it from behind so you can always have an open casket. Right. So every thought is gone into the donor, and they are given as much respect as the person that is receiving the organ. So it's definitely a huge process that they think kindly of, and they take a lot of preparation in order to make sure it's done correctly.
Yeah, and that's so important because we need to know that dignity's there, what's going to happen to me, once I pass and those kinds of things. So I think it's important to express that and,
Absolutely.
talk about those things.
Absolutely. I think our medical professionals, they maybe more than anyone else recognize what a huge, beautiful gift that these organ donors, that these heroes are giving someone else or many people, and they take that very seriously and have great compassion for both our donor heroes and their families.
Yeah, and I love that you use the word heroes. Mm-hmm. And is that kind of something that you just use as a symbol for Donate Life NC? Because really people are heroes, as you say. They're saving lives.
They are, absolutely. Yeah. So folks who have that heart on their license, we think they're heroes because they're making that commitment. Folks who have passed and been donors, they are definitely heroes because they are saving other people's lives. Our living donors are heroes, and we meet more of them every day, and that's always so heartening to hear their stories about why they felt moved out of just empathy and compassion to help someone. Many times it's someone they don't even know. Mm-hmm. So that's really just amazing. So we're inspired every day hearing the stories. It's a wonderful field and wonderful place to work, and we're so moved every day by the just stories of generosity that we hear.
Yes, I can imagine how rewarding it is, and even, I know that side from working at the hospital, and you hear those stories, and I'm not clinical either, but I do hear those stories of, wonderful things that are being done every day.
And it's neat to have the superhero theme, because you think about, if you are an organ donor, you will potentially save lives. So that is why you're going to be a superhero one day. You will, you may not be a doctor, but you still can save all of these lives by being an organ donor. And that's why we chose a lot of the themes for our events this year, the superhero theme. And for the run, we actually had everyone dressed up as superheroes. So it was kind of really exciting to see this huge crowd all dressed up in the different superhero costumes, and just, making it a fun event, but, over a topic that sometimes is not as fun, but, you can be this superhero just by, making that decision to be an organ donor.
And you have some other events coming up this year as well.
Yeah, we have a lot of events. We try to do several a month just to get out throughout the entire state, throughout in our community, to tell people what Donate Life is all about, to sign up people at all our events to be organ donors. That is one of the biggest things we can do when we do have an event. Just have that discussion with them. Have you ever made the decision to be an organ donor? And especially this month, throughout April, is Donate Life Month. So we're doing a lot of events to kind of celebrate the month, and we have quite a few fundraisers coming up this month to just get out there and spread the word about organ donation.
Yeah, and those will all be on your website.
Yes, we have an events page. If you go to donatelifenc.org/events, we always update all of our events, and they're always ongoing. We're trying to expand throughout the state. We're a small team, but we do try to reach out to the different areas throughout the state, and just let our followers come to our different events when we're in town.
How many employees do you have under Donate Life NC?
So we have 4 full-time people and 1 part-time person.
Okay. So it is a small group.
Yeah, you're doing a lot. Much bigger than it was a year ago, though. Yes. So we're very excited. But yeah, so we're reaching all 100 counties. So we're trying to reach out, as best we can. We're so fortunate to have about 70 volunteers across the state, our ambassadors, and they are folks who are transplant recipients many times, or they are donor family members. And they have a personal story to share. They go out to our DMV offices, and they give pep talks to our DMV examiners. Those are the folks on the front lines who ask the question of every driver 16 and over. And we appreciate them so much. 98% of people who join the registry actually do that at their DMV. So we recognize that they are heroes as well because they're asking that question. So our ambassadors go out and do events and talk to folks, go out to church groups and synagogues and all kinds of places of worship and parks and health fairs, and really try to help us get the word out. And without them, I think we'd be lost because the 4.5 of us can't manage to get to all 100 counties. But we try to get out there as much as we can and have fun and meet people. And we're glad to always bring their stories back and share them on our blog and on our website. So if folks go to our website, they'll find lots of inspirational stories there.
Now, is there a need for monetary contribution as well if people want to donate? Is there like a foundation they can donate to, that kind of thing?
Yes, so Donate Life is a 501c3 tax exempt nonprofit. So we do accept contributions. Those contributions, really most of our funds go straight into outreach education. So we have some exciting plans for the future. We have a military community outreach program that we're getting started. And so we could really use some help with that. We would really love to expand our college outreach program. Right now we have a wonderful program that's reaching out to all of our historically Black colleges and universities in North Carolina. We're fortunate to have the most HBCUs of any state in the Southeast, so we are reaching out to those young folks and getting them inspired not only to talk about organ donation on the campus community and back home, but we're also introducing them to the world of transplant medicine as a potential career for them. So that's a really wonderful program, and we would really love to expand that. So we have a lot of plans. We just need a lot more races. But folks can contribute on our website as well if they're interested.
Or even just volunteer. I'm sure.
We're volunteer. We're always looking for volunteers as well. Absolutely.
And we love it when people call us and they want to do something kind of similar to my own situation, to pay it forward to their donor or just to help us out. And we love when they call and even call and say, I want to hold a fundraiser for you or do something, and it's great. Like I said, there's just 4.5 of us and we can't reach all of the 100 counties in the state. So we're always looking for people that want to help us out or do a fundraiser in their town or just give us a call and help volunteer.
Yeah. And, I think you and I had talked at one point about educating the kids in the school too, as they're getting their license. I know it's a topic that comes up, but making it just a part of life, that this is really the way it should be, and these are the things that you can do for your community, for the people in your state or across the world, to help, save a life. And it should be common knowledge and not something you learn about later in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a program now where we are supplying curriculum materials, posters, and videos to all of the high school health educators who are talking about organ, eye, and tissue donation, as well as all the driver education instructors who are talking about organ, eye, and tissue donation as well in their classrooms. And the goal for that is not so much to influence those young people into joining the registry, but we really want to make sure that when they go to the DMV office and they are asked that question when they get their driver's license, we want to make sure they understand why they're being asked that question and what that question means. And then they can make up their own minds about what is the right decision for them. But we really want to make sure that they are getting accurate factual information, not learning about organ donation on the internet or or from some other less reputable sources. So that's a big push we have for our outreach, and that is wonderful. We hear from so many high school students now that are doing their senior projects on organ donation, and that just always makes us feel really good. We're glad to help them with those projects as well.
Yeah, and because of the race, I was not even aware of the organization myself until Johnston Health was a sponsor this year for the race, and having the honor of having Melissa on the show and learning more about it and hearing your story, and it's just wonderful. I'm so glad that you could come and share this information. And Deanna, give your website again as well.
It's www.donatelifenc.org.
Okay. And so if they want to talk with somebody, is there someone that they can talk to? Melissa, do they call you? Or if somebody wants to just talk more about it, then instead of just going on the website?
Sure, they can go on the website is our phone number and our general email, and they can just give us a call. We love hearing from people. I love hearing their stories. I love hearing why they have such a great interest in organ donation. So we welcome everyone to reach out and give us a call if they are interested in helping in any way.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both for joining us today.
And thank you again for sponsoring the race. You guys were out at the race. A couple people ran the race, and it was really exciting. It was a great day.
Yeah, and a beautiful environment
beautiful
for
day,
sure.
yes.
So, is there anything we haven't touched on today that you'd like to share with the audience? And
well, I'd just like to share with everyone that April is Donate Life, National Donate Life Month. So there are events and celebrations going on all month long. We are, in North Carolina, we are very fortunate. We have the 6th largest registry in the country, which is wonderful. It says a lot about the generosity of North Carolinians.
Right.
We are so close to 5 million registered donors. We're at 4.96, I think, and so we're so close. So we're just encouraging everyone, if you have the interest, go ahead and sign up and help us, push that number over 5 million this year.
Yes, and check out your website for the events.
Yes.
Come out, learn more about it, and
we'd love to
sign
see you
up
at
there.
the event.
Thank you so much. Again, Deanna Mitchell and Melissa Blackman with Donate Life NC. And thank you again for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And please join us for another episode of Johnston Health Talk. We look forward to you joining us.